Hi friends, I'm Miss Holly and I'm here to make art with you today. Today's story we learned about a great role model. And I want you to think about someone in your life you think is a great role model. Someone who behaves and acts, speaks in ways that you know are a good way to be. And that's the kind of person you want to be. So let's think of that person and let's make a picture honoring that person. So put your thinking caps on and let's try to think of that person first. And we're going to make a picture of that person. And just to make it a little bit different, a little bit fun, instead of drawing a picture or painting with paint, if you have any instant coffee around the house, we're going to paint with coffee today. So I just took some instant coffee, poured it in some water. I didn't even heat it up. Stirred it up. And this is going to be our paint for today. I'm not even going to draw with a pencil. I'm just going to get a paintbrush. Maybe if you don't have a paintbrush, get creative. What could you use as a paintbrush? Maybe you could make a paintbrush. But we're going to paint a picture of your role model today. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out how I want to fill the page. I am going to make a picture that's more of a bust from their head down to their shoulder area. So I'm going to take my coffee and I'm going to lightly sketch out where their head would be. And then I'm going to think of their neck. And their shoulders go beyond their head. That's one thing. Sometimes you make little teeny tiny shoulders, but our shoulders actually come out beyond our head. And I can also use this just to help me fill the page, going out like this. So the next thing I'm going to do is think about the facial features. Usually there are some tips to help you. So usually if I were making some eyes, I would think about the idea of eyes and how far apart they are. It's approximately an eye apart. So if the eyes are this big, I need to make something that's approximately this much space between before I start the next eye. And again, you're just laying out the details. Now, in some areas I have a lot of water, so I'm going to let this dry a bit before I try to work too much, otherwise it's all going to be smeared together. But I have the basics for the eyes. And the bridge of the nose comes through here. And you can think about the end of the nose. Maybe more rounded at the bottom. And you could think of your person's lips, the upper and lower. Now when they smile, do they show their teeth or not show their teeth? Think about your person. I'm just laying it out now. And then don't forget you need some eyebrows. That can make your person more expressive. And then think about some of their details. What kind of hair do they have? Short hair, long hair, straight hair, curly hair. I'm going to make this person have some curly hair. And you could think about their clothes. Are they going to be in some sort of uniform? Do they wear some sort of special clothing? Are you thinking about someone that maybe they were doing a specific task and maybe they wear special clothes to do that task? Like I said, did they have a uniform or something significant? Maybe they have some sort of outfit that you think is really fun, or you just think of them when you think of that person. Maybe it's a parent or an aunt or uncle or a grandparent, someone that helps take care of you. Maybe you can really personalize this to make it look like that person. So again, I'm just working loosely with my paintbrush, sketching it all out. As this dries, I can go back in and make some more details. And you can change the value, the darkness or lightness of your coffee. You can maybe make some smaller cups of coffee that have less coffee grounds in it, or some that have more. That's going to change the value. Also, as these dry, you can go back in
and layer back over an area. If you want to make something darker, go back into it. Now remember, when it's wet, just like on watercolor, wet areas are going to kind of grab other wet areas and blend together. If you don't want them to blend, you might need to let that area dry first. If you don't mind them blending together, then go ahead while it's still wet and blend that in. Now, on something like this, since it's monochromatic, the white spaces become very important because if we fill everything in, we won't be able to delineate one area or shape from another, because right now we're really working a lot with line as well as shape. So again, the white part becomes very important. Now this is starting to dry, so I can go back in maybe into the lips and darken the lips some more. I'm still going to need to leave some white or light areas so that we can see our details. Maybe I can darken the eye over here a little bit more. Okay, this one's still pretty wet, so I'm going to wait. But you can also, as I say, you can always lighten this or dilute your coffee in some areas. So I have diluted some of my coffee right here, so you can see the difference, the dark and the lighter. I'm going to use some of this lighter coffee to make some more details, like thinking of skin tone, maybe a little bit more. The cheeks and under the eyes. Now this eye is still pretty wet, so I'm going to hold off. I'm getting too close to my really wet areas right now. But this helps show some of the shadows. So let's think of parts of the face that would be more in shadow than other places. Right, let's say along the bridge of the nose and the sides here. Maybe the cheeks. So I'm going to need to let that dry a little bit. Maybe work on the clothes. Some of you could also add details, like maybe wearing a striped shirt or a polka dot shirt. You could add other details like that. So just take your time experimenting. Be a little bit patient with yourself and with the coffee drying. If you need to speed up the dry time, you could get a hair dryer on low and help to dry that, or just maybe step back from it for a couple minutes and come back to it with fresh eyes and let the paint, or the coffee paint, if you will, dry a little bit. So I think it'd be really fun to see what you do. And the fun thing is, it's coffee. It's just not a precious supply, but you could really experiment and see what kinds of things you could come up with in your portrait. So I hope you have fun making a picture of your role model. It would be a really neat thing if you could give this picture to your role model. Maybe write a little note about them, explaining why they that you think of them as a role model. Have fun. Thank you.